I am J.R. Gordon, joined by Todd Romero. We are doing our very first COVID area set of fights here. Era set of fights here. We got a great card for you tonight. We're going to start it off with 4 boxing bouts. Then we've got 8 amateur fights, which include 2 Muay Thai fights, 1 kickboxing fight, a pro MMA fight for our main event. Todd, it's going to be a great night.
Got some Muay Thai action going on. Hey, it's great to be back. I think February 29th was the last time we were in action, JR, so it's great to be back here with you. Again, 13 fights on the card. It starts with boxing. It will have a bit of an experience factor. We'll talk to you in a minute when both boxers are introduced here, but a pleasant night, an outdoor venue, something you got to be very excited about.
Very much so indeed. Let's check out our tail of the tape. Mr. Jesus Carrillo, 21 years old, taller fighter at 5'11", and has the advantage with the 6-1 record.
And you know that when you're in the ring, JR, when you're 6-1, you've been through it 7 times. You've been through the introductions. You've been through fight day. The mental preparation is just a different deal. So he comes in with a little bit of an advantage.
And his opponent, fighting out of the nutrition company of Cheyenne Blue Corner, please welcome Francisco Beltran.
Well, a lot less to speak of with one fight, JR, but the good thing is that one fight was a victory. So when you're looking at things and check chess matches to figure this one out, the one thing is there's not a lot of tape on him. So if you're out there trying to find, if you're Carrillo, you're trying to find tape on Beltran, there's not that much out there to go with.
Exactly, and you can bet he's tasted victory, knows what it's like. He's been in the gym training hard. Whatever tape there is out there of him, he's probably a different fighter now by virtue of been having put in the work, getting his career started.
Absolutely. 250 fans is what we're limited to tonight. Social distancing with COVID-19. Obviously, the situation around the country has become more and more serious. I know that Jeff Cisneros, the CEO of Sparta Combat League, really worked hard with the Wyoming Boxing Commission to get this thing approved and get us back rolling. For the folks at home that are joining us by pay-per-view, they want to see the local fighters. And listen, we saw it again last night. You saw J-Train win the LFA Featherweight Championship. He started here at Sparta Combat League. You see the Yena Heinishes, the Grant Neals. This is where the great fighters start.
And it was nice to hear him mention on the LFA talking about J-Train and saying, hey, he never gave up his Sparta Combat League title.
I like
he wants
that.
Everybody know he still is the champ.
You know, he's got 2 belts now. He's got the Sparta Combat League belt and the LFA World Title belt.
Well, hopefully more to come in his future. Congratulations, J-Train. Let's take it up to Cody.
Ladies and gentlemen, this boxing bout is brought to you by Red Lion Hotels. Let's meet our fighters first. Fighting out the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts Red Corner, from Denver, Colorado, representing a family affair boxing, Jesus Urias Carrillo. And his opponent, fighting out of the nutrition company of Cheyenne Blue Corner, from Torrington, Wyoming, representing Black Hole MMA and Boxing, Miklo Fighting Father, Francisco Beltran.
Torrington, YO. JR used to live in
gentlemen,
Wheatland.
once again, you've had your final
I know the
instructions.
area.
Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Any questions?
You and I were talking
Okay,
about the
gentlemen,
drive out
up.
here. Miles
Legal,
and miles
understand?
of nothing
All right,
but
gentlemen, touch
miles
'em
and
up, that's your
miles.
call.
Yes, fireworks stands, however. I did a detour. I didn't buy anything, JR.
No flaming balls of phosphorus for you, huh?
Well, let's see if there's some fireworks tonight in the cage. That's for sure. We started off with boxing. Jesus Carrillo in the black shorts, Francisco Beltran in the white. Here we go, JR. Touch him up and go.
Boxing action, and welcome back to Fights fans.
Carrillo with a good left hand there, JR, starting off.
And Carrillo with really good head and shoulder movement as well. Almost immediately, I can see he has a bit of advantage in his defensive movement.
Yeah,
Look
very
at that,
quick.
the distance, and he's just seeing it coming.
Yeah, side to side, and he leans back very well, JR. Avoids that contact. And again, we talked about his experience factor, and you can't do much more than when you've got 7 fights in there.
Beltran dropping his hands quite a bit, but he's moving backward when he does it, so just kind of hoping he's out of range is what he's doing there.
Beltran throwing that left jab out, coming across, but not quite measuring it right. Carrillo's just getting out of the way. Again, knowing where your distance are and to stay out of it. Combination of the body.
And excuse me, I misspoke. It's Carrillo dropping his hands when he's backing.
Yep.
And again, he does that. He's got to be careful. That's how Anderson Silva got caught.
He's very quick, JR, but again, with quickness, you can't rely on that every single time. Nice shot to the left. Comes back with a left hook, JR. That one scored
Carrillo
well.
stayed inside nicely on that one. Good little bit of pivot footwork to come across with that left hand.
As you said, Carrillo's very quick, backpedaling and avoiding any kind of contact and coming forward and got that nice little left hook that scored. Again, there it was again. Jab and then another left.
Beltran with his chin straight up in the air got caught.
Boy, these guys throwing some bombs out there, letting it back and firing.
Beltran took it well, but man, he's eating a couple of hard shots.
Yeah, he's taking 3 or 4 left hooks in this opening round. There's seconds out. Wow. That's the way to get it started, JR.
Yeah, that's a good start to the show. I'm liking that.
Yeah, Carrillo's very fast. He can lean back. He's got that angle where he can lean back off that, but he's got to be careful keeping those hands up. The left hand seems to be doing the most damage right now.
And Carrillo not utilizing the stool between rounds, showing off to his opponent that he's in good condition here. It's been a while since I've had to talk for a living.
Well, it takes a little. You got to get warmed up a little bit, JR. That's for sure. But no, listen. He's saying if I can't go 3 2-minute rounds and stand beat in between, then he's in shape. Trains at the Mile High City. So, but not much of an elevation change here in Wyoming.
Good shot in Beltran's corner. He looked very calm. Only his second fight, seemingly super composed.
Got a good chin on him.
Yeah. Unfortunate that he's had to prove that.
Yes. He's blocking him with his face. Again, there's that left. Both guys standing in there. Beltran coming along with a little bit of aggressiveness, but can't find the range quite yet.
Yeah, I think probably the corner Beltran was in his ear a little bit about, hey, let's have a little more forward pressure.
Well, I think they saw the same thing you did, too, about Carrillo dropping his hands a little bit. There was a good example of it. Good body shots.
Oh,
nice
good.
Body shots.
And Beltran's hurt on that.
Yeah, again to the
Trying
stomach.
to fire back. Oh, took another hard left hook.
Well, I tell you what, Beltran has taken a lot of shots. Carrillo went downstairs, worked the body. You could see the redness on the chest and the stomach of Beltran. Then he came upstairs.
And that's experience being shown by Carrillo. Not going head hunting even after he wobbled his opponent a bit.
There's that tag with the left hand again. Comes over with the right. There's that jab. There's that left again. The left has found its way home.
And Beltran's starting to put his chin straight up in the air again.
Tries with that left and the overhand right just missed, huh?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay, JR. My bad. Beltran with an overhand right. Ooh, body shot, then come back with the left one more time. Carrillo definitely has the better shots in this round.
And Carrillo doing a nice job of mixing his shots. You're talking about the body shots and the reddening on the torso of Carrillo or Beltran. Carrillo doing a nice job mixing it upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah, really, and he's scoring everywhere. And I think, and he's throwing multiples. He's throwing combinations. It's just not one and done. There you see a 4-punch combination. Ooh, big left and then a right coming over. Carrillo sidesteps and then ducks.
Yeah, Beltran was winding up for that one, and Carrillo saw it coming from a long ways away.
Well, Carrillo's certainly getting his money's worth through 2 rounds. He's throwing a lot of leather out there, JR.
And out of a family affair box, I just heard the coach in Carrillo's corner say, look how tired he is. He has to sit down. So, yeah, definitely a little bit of gamesmanship in there. Yep.
Well, I think tires you out a little bit getting hit as well.
Well, and those body shots for sure.
Yeah.
They'll take a lot out of a fighter. The proverbial lifeline in a video game, and checking out the replay here, and this guy's mixing it up well. Some of the best punches thrown by Beltran right there, and Carrillo kind of shook his head a little bit, and you can see him say, hey, I guess I got to get myself back in this.
Carrillo's done a great job just staying out of range of most of the damage. All right, we go, seconds out, ready for the third and final round. It's been a good one so far. Here we go.
As Carrillo develops in his career, he's going to have to get rid of that habit of dropping his hands when he backs out.
If he doesn't get rid of that habit, JR, somebody's going to teach it to him.
Carrillo pressuring forward, and his corner's calling for the knockout. Let's see if he tries to turn it up.
Beltran's made it through the first 2 rounds. He's had some punches land, but just not enough. There's a nice left that scores.
Carrillo doing a nice job using his jab to keep his opponent from coming in. Then, as you referenced, throwing his combinations behind
once
it.
he goes with an overhand right there. Beltran just hasn't found what can work for him. Every time he stepped in early, JR, Carrillo's been able to duck past it. He's gotten landed with a couple of them, but nothing that's mounted to any kind of momentum. That left was there all day long. 2-punch combination coming with that overhand right, JR.
Like the determination from Beltran, though. There's no backing up, no quitting this kid. He's been stung a few times. It doesn't seem to deter him even one little bit.
Well, the good thing is it's just his second fight. He's getting a lot of experience in this one with a guy that's been in the ring a little bit more.
Yeah, one of those literal fights that you learn a lot from.
Big right hand. And you can see the welts even developing on Beltran's lats from this fight. Beltran with the left.
Carrillo working his distance very nicely. Just really has a feel for the range.
Yeah, that's been his MO in this fight. He's got a longer reach, JR, and he's used it perfectly.
Carrillo ate a couple of shots, looks to fire back. 10-second clacker. Let's see if they give us some toe-to-toe.
Trying to put him out there with the right. Beltran stepped in. That one didn't have the range. Beltran going upstairs with the left, grazes him, gets a punch in at the end, but I think right now you're looking at Carrillo, a 30-27 decision in my eyes.
Yeah, it should be an easy call for the judges on that one. Nice work by both guys. Carrillo, him and his coach is probably going to look at the tape and see a few things to work on. And like I said, I think it'll be a great learning experience for Mr. Beltran this evening.
But I do agree with you. When you're 8 fights in now, if you're Carrillo and you've seen the boxers you're going to box and the fighters that you're going to have to fight moving up, JR, you've got to get your hands up because you're going to pay the price if you don't.
Yeah, he's going to hit that next level, and it's going to become pretty important to shore up that defense a bit.
Well, and that's all there is to it. As you take a look at it here, when you go to that next level, you know, every level fighters drop out, and if you're good enough, you move on. You got to be quick, but you got to keep those hands up as well.
Yeah, and they're showing it on the replay right as we were talking about it. Carrillo with his hands down around his waist, backing up. I mean, it worked okay for him. He didn't have to pay for it tonight, but like we say, moving ahead. Might want to take a look at that.
But I did like it for the first fight. There was a lot of fight action, a lot of punches thrown in that fight, and that's what you want to start a 13-fight card.
Looks like Big Mo has the word from the judges. We'll get the fighters to the center. And
Big Mo decked out in an animal print tonight. Boy, a hot one today along the front range and up here in Cheyenne as you see some of the replays of the fight here. And there you see Carrillo really measured his distance where Beltran couldn't get in enough to get anything to land. But a nice cool evening now. Like it. Here's the decision.
all right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 full rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard for a decision. All 3 judges scored about 30-27. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Jesus Carrillo.
As we saw, congratulations, Mr. Carrillo. Up next, more boxing for us.